Hey, hello, welcome, good evening. Good evening, everyone who watches the live. It's evening for me right now. But hello, welcome to my live. I am Angie White, and I am a realtor in the state of Georgia and Florida. And welcome to the closing table with me. I'm super excited to be here with you guys today. I want to go over something with you guys. I know I've been getting a few questions from people here and there, so I'm excited. Thank you guys for sending your questions. I am happy to be with you here today to answer your real estate questions. I know you guys watch the news, probably thinking like, oh, the market's really bad, or I just don't know what to do. So I'm here as a realtor to give you the insight you need as a buyer or seller in the market, okay? So the market is not like technically crashed when it comes to the housing market. Let's be clear on that. Homes are still selling quickly today. Homes are still being purchased by buyers today. So people are buying, people are selling. No matter what's going on, people are still buying and selling real estate. And here is something that a lot of people just need to know about real estate. The answer is that the answer to what's going on in the market, it really just depends on what's happening in your local area. Okay, so what's happening in your local area is the answer to the question of what's happening in the market when it comes to real estate. Okay, so real estate is local. Okay, so when it comes to real estate, everything is local. It has a local area. It depends on where you are and what you do and and where you are and how fast your properties are selling in that particular area. It's even region based. So if you're in real estate and you're looking to purchase or buy or sell real estate, it is based on your region. It could be county, even county. We can even go down to county based, city based, okay? Or even parts of the city based. So one part of the city may sell faster than the other part of the city. So real estate is very local when it comes to, it's very local relations. It depends on your local relations, depending on the area, what happens in the area, what part of the city you're in. Are you close to downtown, or are you near, are you in more of the back part of the city? It's less probably likely to sell as fast, okay? So it all depends on location, where you are in the city. Thank you guys for joining in with me. You can like, share, follow, and you can also catch this replay on YouTube when you are when you need to know more information about the market. Okay, so tonight we're just going to explain a few things. So so I'm licensed in Florida and in Georgia. So the market in Miami or Orlando is very much so different than the market in Atlanta. Orlando is different from being in Gainesville. And that's whether you're in Gainesville, Florida or Gainesville, Georgia. The market is just going to be different. Every city and neighborhood can have behave differently, okay? Every city and neighborhood can behave differently when it comes to real estate. Okay, tonight I just want to explain what today's market actually means. If you're buying or selling in Georgia or Florida, and hopefully you're making a decision that's based on facts and not what you hear or fear. Okay, so you want to make your decision based on facts and not what you hear or fear when it comes to real estate. Okay, so welcome. So you can tell me, guys, if you're joining me on TikTok or Facebook, where are you joining me from? Where you're watching from? Are you here in Georgia? Are you in Florida? Where are you? Are you in Texas? Are you in North Carolina? Wherever you are, tell me where you are joining in from. Are you thinking about buying or selling, or just keeping an eye on the market? You can let me know that as well. And so just put that in the chat for me. If you are watching on the replay, go ahead and put in the chat replay so that I know you caught the replay, all right? Okay, so for my buyers, your tip today for my buyers is that buyers have more negotiating power than they did maybe a few years ago. So negotiating power has went up for buyers. Buyers have the ability to negotiate more and more on the purchase of their home. That is very encouraging for the buyers. So one of the biggest changes I've seen is that buyers need a little bit more breathing room, and they have that breathing room that they're needing when it comes to purchasing real estate. Okay, so buyers have been competing against other buyers and losing out on properties, waiving inspections and things like that when they're in competition with other buyers. But right now you have more legroom. There are more houses on the market for you to choose from. So today's market is more balanced, I would say. How is the market? What's the market update? I would say it's more balanced out. Buyers have their negotiating power, and seller has their own thing as well. So it just depends on your location. So in your area. So there's more inventory in Florida. There's more inventory here in Georgia. In certain areas, there's definitely more inventory. Inventory has been improved. Okay. It's been proved that you don't have to be in a frenzy to purchase. You can take your time, but also you do want to be ready when it is time for you to purchase as a buyer, okay? So when you're buying real estate, you want to be ready when it's time, because if that's the house you want and you know that's the house you want to go ahead and set that up with the realtor and get that offer placed in as soon as possible. You don't want to waste too much time on that, okay? So, but there is more negotiating power. What does that mean for buyers? Negotiating power. Buyers can often negotiate more than they know, and that's why you have a realtor, okay? So you can negotiate more than you absolutely know. Even like with new construction, you can really get some good negotiating power. With new construction, with resale, you buyers have negotiating power, okay? So what us realtors do, we take the information that you give us. So we get all of your information together. Hi, Tyrika. Thank you for joining me. Welcome, welcome. We are talking about real estate and buyers having more negotiating power than they have previously because they have inventory. We have inventory. So because inventory is improved, you can negotiate on more things like closing costs, repairs, home warranties. You can have longer inspection periods. You can have more favorable closing time frames. Like, so if you need a little bit more time to move, you can have more favorable closing time frames. Those are areas of negotiation when it comes to real estate. Welcome, welcome, guys. That you want to be able to say to your realtor, this is what I need, this is what I can afford, and them to get you exactly that or more. I always try to go above and beyond what my buyer is asking me for, okay? That is what I love to do for my buyers. That is what I love to see them have. It's more than what they expected, to get more of what they were expecting out of me. Okay, because I'm licensed to do, I'm here to do it. I know what I'm doing. I should be able to get you what you need and even more if possible, okay? It does not mean that the power of the seller goes away, okay? Every seller still has power, their own power in their own right as a seller, but you absolutely do have negotiating power, okay? Does that mean that that the seller is going to give away everything? No. Okay. I want to be clear. Because you have negotiating power, it does not mean that the seller will give away everything. The seller will, though, concede a little bit more than they normally would to get the home sold. That's what that means, okay? If a home is priced correctly, if it's in a great location and it shows well, it can still have a lot of offers, and somebody else can beat you out. And in those type of areas, like your downtown, right by the mall, or right by in a prime location, all of those things actually matter. And so if you're trying to get that house and everybody wants that house, you're still gonna have those areas of those those areas of the city that are multiple offer situations. You will be in those parts if you're in those areas of those cities. Now, but buyers do generally get more options when it comes to real estate and buying and purchasing at this moment. You're just able to leverage just a little bit more, okay? You're able to leverage just a little bit more. That means it's more money in your pocket. So that's basically what I'm saying. When you have more negotiating power, you get more money in your pockets. Okay, you get to probably negotiate on that purchase price, especially if the seller's price a little bit more higher than they need to be and all the other homes are selling at a lower value. You get to negotiate on that price, okay? And we talked about inspection, right? So when we talked about inspection, I did remind you that I want to remind you to go to the inspection, because those are the areas that you get to negotiate on. After the inspection, you get to negotiate, come back and negotiate on the things that you saw in inspection that maybe wasn't so favorable to you. And that's like repairs or lowering the price or getting more closing costs, things like that, whatever your need is at the time. So you want to make sure your need is being met as a buyer. Okay, so our tip number 2 today is for our sellers. And so sellers, right now, I would say as far as the market goes, pricing correctly matters. Sellers, pricing correctly does matter. It matters more than ever in a market that is more leaning towards a buyer. Okay, pricing matters when it's leaning towards a buyer. Okay, so this is probably one of the biggest things that a seller can do is they can overprice their home. And it'll cause your home to sit way longer than it should. And you're wondering if it's the realtor's fault, but no, it's the price fault. It's the fault of the price. And pricing matters, okay? So when it's priced appropriately, then you're going to sell appropriately. Now, also, location does matter, which is why price matters. So if you're in a prime location and you're priced to sell, that's good. But if you're not in a prime location and you're priced at your own personal thought of the value, you're not priced appropriately. Okay, all of those things do matter, okay? It does matter when it comes to selling your home and wanting the right buyer to show up for you. Now, a couple years ago, I would say homes would sell regardless of condition. So it doesn't matter what the condition of the home is. Especially, I think during the pandemic, a lot of people were just buying a bunch of homes and they was just purchasing anything. As a buyer, that's a good question. We'll get to that, Tyreeka. Thank you for that question. So I would say as a buyer, how can you tell if it's overpriced? You would definitely need your realtor for that. All right. So what I would say, that's number 1. Number 2 is what I would say is look at the other homes in the area. Is the homes in the area that are similar bedroom size, similar bathroom size, similar square footage, are they priced the same? That will be how you would know. So just look at the area that you're looking in and see if those homes are priced in all the same range, okay? And I would say within a 10 to 15,000, 20,000 range, okay? Then you'll know probably it's within probably the best market value. But the only way to be for sure is to get your realtor to do a CMA on that home, which is a comparative market analysis, okay? And so, again, so sellers, a couple of years ago, buyers would purchase regardless of home condition. And even now, if you were in the right location, that still could happen. But this is not those days. These buyers are not overlooking repairs. They are holding you accountable to the home condition. Homes could have been sold over asking a lot of years ago if they were in the right location, or, especially during the pandemic, they could have been sold over asking. But no, it's not the case so much so these days. You're probably going to get at asking price, or you're going to have to negotiate on the price. So today's buyers are comparing homes more carefully because they're looking around. Today's buyers are looking for homes that compare to what they actually need. They're watching interest rates. They're watching their monthly payments, hopefully because I'm teaching you that, right? Because you're here with me. You're learning to be mindful of what your monthly payment will be. And we'll talk about interest rates. Maybe I'll get me a lender friend on here to go into what to expect when it comes to a loan, okay? And so, so if your home is priced too high, buyers may simply scroll past it. They won't even look at it other than to say, oh, that was pretty, but it's not out of my price range. Okay, so you want to make sure you're priced appropriately. First impressions do matter. First pricing does matter. Your first 2 to 3 weeks does matter. We talked about that last week. And pricing strategically can have a stronger interest in your home than not doing so. So I would say, sellers, make sure you got the best realtor possible to get you the best deal you need that you can. And be agreeable, okay? Sellers, you have to be agreeable in this market. You want to be a little bit more flexible than just saying, oh, this is what I want. This is what I can do. That's all I can do. You're going to have to be a little bit more flexible. Hey, Chris, thank you for joining me. Thank you so much. So you're just going to have to be a little bit more agreeable when it comes to the market, especially here in Georgia and certain areas. I've seen it in Florida. I've seen it in certain areas. Just sellers, you do need to be a little bit more agreeable, okay? Okay, so I also want you guys to remember that the Georgia and Florida market, they behave differently based off the location. It's different in each city, different in each state, different in parts of the city. It could be the North Gainesville area will operate differently than the southern part of the Gainesville area. All of those things do matter. Where are you? Where's your home place? What kind of location is it? Is this a place where you see is vibrant and flowing with people? And think about that even if you're buying. Is that the home? If I'm selling this home, again, like we talked about last week, if I'm selling this home, would somebody else want it, right? So that's something to be thinking about as well, especially when you're pricing your home. Many metro areas do continue to have steady demands because of jobs and growth and population. The population just increasing. So those metro areas, they do have a better market for selling, okay? Now, well-priced homes in desirable areas, they can still sell, but they'll sell and desirable, they'll sell quickly, but also in more of a balanced rate, okay? If you're in more of a suburban area, with suburban areas, they may sell a little bit slower because not always everybody wants to be in the suburbs, okay? A lot of people like the fast go-getter life, so they want to be in the areas that are suitable to their needs, okay? So that's what we're talking about. So if you're in Florida, say you're in Florida, is your home in a waterfront area? Are you in a luxury market when it comes to your home? Is it a luxury style area? Is that considered the upscale part of the city? Is it considered the more lower scale part of the city? Not to be against any city. Every city has its upscale and lower scale areas. Every city has it. I've seen it across states where every city has upscale and a little lower scale area, okay? And so you want to make sure if you're not in a highly desirable location, that you're priced to sell, okay? If you're not in a highly desirable location, you need to be priced to sell. And that just means that it's not going to be probably everything you thought it would be, but it'll be the amount that you need to get you to the next home. And if you're with a realtor like me, if you sell your home and you price it to sell, and we agree on price to sell, I'm going to try to get you to get the best value when you purchase again. So I'm not going to just have you focus on, oh, I'm going to probably lose out here. No, we're going to find the best house to move in next. Okay. So you're not going to be just left with the bag, so to speak. You're not going to be just left out to deal with it on your own. I'm here to help you through the process. Okay. If you would like if you'd like to know what your home is worth in today's market, you can always send me a message. I'll be happy to assist you with telling you what your home is worth. That is important for all sellers to know. If you want that information, send me a message. I'll be happy to assist you. If you're thinking about buying and you want to know what opportunities might be available to you, I'd be happy to create a strategy with you to see what you can do, okay? So whether you're buying, selling, or simply planning ahead, I'm here for you. I'm here to help you through that process. If you are interested in knowing what your interest rates would be for you in particular, I'm here to help you find that process and do it. If you're here in the U.S. and I'm not licensed in your state, I'm sure I have a network of people that I can reach out to who will be able to assist you in the state that you're in. Even if you're not in Florida or Georgia, I will do my best to help you if you're in the U.S. Okay, so but also let's see here. Gonna make sure I got all my things out. So if you have any questions, you tell me what your biggest concern is if you're buying or selling. You guys have any real estate questions that you want me to talk about on my live, I will definitely answer those questions. If you have any questions at all or in shape when it comes to real estate, I'm here to help you. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate everyone that's joined me today. I appreciate you being here on my live. I appreciate you showing up. So I do have a few announcements for you guys. So today I'm going to go over just what's going on this weekend. I do have like a really busy weekend coming up. And so my first thing I want to announce is that I will be assisting at the back to school drive down at the College Park Public Library on Saturday. If you know anyone that is in need of backpacks or assistant with their back to school supplies, you need to meet us at the College Park Library here in Georgia. And we will be giving out back to school supplies. So make sure that you meet us there. It's going to be 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. that we will be meeting, and you will be able to get your backpack for your child. So if you know anyone that may need that, you go ahead and you tell them to come and meet us out there. We will be out there. I'll be out there helping out with this back to school drive. I'm super excited to be joining them and helping you guys get the supplies you need for school. I have children myself, and I have taken part in many back to school drives when they were little. And so I'm super excited to be helping other families get their needs supplied. So again, on Saturday at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., you will be available to get the backpacks you need, and you will be able to meet those who are supplying and sponsoring and helping you guys with the backpacks and supplies. Again, it's free. You don't have to do anything but show up. It's free to you. Okay. And on Friday, I will be at the Gathering of the Intercessor. And this is with Prophet Micaiah. I will be at the Gathering of the Intercessors on Friday at 7 p.m. That is in Snellville, Georgia. You guys can meet us there. We will be gathering to pray. Oh my goodness. Of course, we need prayer. And school is about to start for many people. So you definitely want to get into prayer. You want to be interceding over this next school year for sure. And this next month, okay? So Gathering at the Intercessor is Friday at 7 p.m. in Snellville, Georgia. I will be sharing these flyers on my page, so you don't have to search for where this information is. I will be sharing the flyer, so you can check out the flyer and you can go ahead and join in these events again. And I will be at church on Sunday. I do go to Atlanta Hub Church. Love that church. And it's over in Alpharetta, Georgia. You can always check that out. And you can Google that if you have any questions when it comes to that. Okay. Again, It's so great for you guys to be with me. Oh, yeah. And don't forget, my next live will be back for real estate tips. It's going to be Tuesday at 7:45 p.m. And on Sunday, I will be live at 11 a.m. And this is where I do At His Vanity, where I'm sitting in front of you guys as I prepare for my day. And we talk about Jesus. Okay, we're just going to talk about Jesus as I prepare for my day. So I can't wait to see you guys back on my live. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget, you can catch the replay on YouTube. If you're on TikTok, if you're not on TikTok, you can catch the replay on Facebook as well as on my YouTube page if you want to go back and check the YouTube. All right, don't forget to like, share, and tag somebody or follow me on all my pages, on all my social media platforms. If you have any questions, don't forget to send me a message, DM me. I'm happy to answer all your questions when it comes to real estate. And if you even have questions and you want me to talk about something when it comes to the Lord, I'm here for you. We're going to answer all questions, okay? I feel like the people need the answers to go forward in this season. All right, so blessings to everyone. Thank you so much for joining. You guys have an amazing week. Don't forget the tips for this week. The tip number 1 for the buyers was, buyers, you have more negotiating power. Make sure you use that and you get the realtor that you need to get all the negotiating power that you can possibly get. And you sellers, tip number 2 is for the sellers, and pricing correctly does matter more than ever. Make sure you are absolutely priced to sell. You guys be blessed and have an amazing day. Love you. Bye-bye.